Acting out is an interesting phrase. It's descriptive. We act something out of our unconscious mind and bring it into the present in our relationships. And it is an attempt to become more conscious of something that is suppressed. But if you don't recognize it, or no one brings it to your attention, it just stays acting out. And that's different than having a real relationship in which you are relating to the person in the moment for who they are, as opposed to acting out past traumas and past issues. For example, my mom was not very emotionally available, and my dad didn't feel loved by his parents, and so he acted out sexually through cheating in at least a couple of his relationships, if not all of them. He had 4 marriages. And I think that energy was part of what I played out before I started getting interested in my spiritual growth and developing empathy. I was acting out those issues that affected me because I was trying to understand better why are emotions not okay to express vulnerably. So I didn't express them vulnerably and found out that led to distance. Why did my father cheat? Why did he leave our family because of this behavior? That led to a divorce when I was 5. And I cheated in relationships when I was in my 20s. And learned about myself later on when I became more conscious about anger and unexpressed anger playing into my cheating behavior, and emotional distancing. And I've had experiences of being the recipient of acting out behavior. I was in one of my 2 marriages. It involved a woman whose father was very angry, and she would try to provoke him because when he hit her, he felt guilty, and then he softened. But otherwise, he was very angry and controlling and so forth. And so she acted that out in her relationship with me. And when she dumped water on me while I was sleeping, there was, I think, at least a couple times where she jumped on me and started hitting me while I was sleeping. And those incidents when I was sleeping took a while for me to get comfortable. Many years after that relationship where I get comfortable sleeping in the same bed as someone else. I think it left a residue for me. And she was really into conflict. She really was into creating conflict so that it would push me to get angry. And that was part of her acting out process, was acting out past traumas, past drama that was unresolved and had a lot of hurt connected to it. Also had an experience of acting out. There was a woman I dated who had been pretty severely sexually abused, eventually removed from her home. And we were never too serious, but there was an experience where she called me up and said that she wanted to hook up. She was very seductive, and then she came over, and we had sex. And many years later, I don't know, we were friends, 4 or 5 years later, I asked if there was anything she was angry about, because I just felt like I had started in the prior 2 years getting into spirituality and becoming more sensitive to energy, and I could feel an aggressiveness from her towards me. And she said that she felt she was angry because the time that she had come over, by the time she got there, she didn't want to have sex, but she had sex with me anyways, and what she really wanted was to be held. And I said, well, you could have told me that, and I would have respected that you changed your mind. But if she had told me that, it wouldn't have been an opportunity to act out that experience from her childhood of having sex when she didn't want to. And so suppressing that information, put me in the role of somebody that she was angry at. And I didn't feel there was anything that I did wrong. But that's the thing about acting out. It's not necessarily about the other person and what they're doing. It's about what is unresolved within us. So how does this change? I believe that developing empathy for another person, somebody that we care about, so that we don't want to hurt them, and so therefore we want to own our stuff, and we want to look more deeply at our stuff because it's too uncomfortable to hurt our partner or partners or whatever. It's about taking ownership and dealing directly with what lingers within us as hurt and trauma. And that way, we no longer act out the drama that comes from the unconscious acting out process.